Welcome to Shade
It's
and the City.
Shady.
I'm your girl Treese.
It's Nels.
And today, y'all, we are here to get into none other than the Braxtons, season 2, episode 5, The Queen and I. Okay. Because we know this is Tawanda's Bridgerton theme event. So yeah, y'all, all our Shade Squad and our new viewers, if you have not already, please do us a favor and go ahead and hit that like button.
And that subscribe button.
So let's get into it and let's get shady.
Last drip on the skyline paint. Shade in the city, true hits like a banger. I said it, I meant it, no need for disclaimers. Haters right away, but they just false claimers. Concrete beats are heavy like cinder. Looking for one, but the streets feel winter. No filters, no edits, I'm raw with my splinters. My life a movie, they watching the trailers. I'm not gonna hold you. Shade in the city, the life and the mold. You like and subscribe if you feeling the vibe. This is my word, I just let you inside. Said it, I said it, I'm not gonna hold you. Shade in the city, my words gon' console you. Like and subscribe if you feeling the vibe.
So we start this episode off, Tawanda is talking to her bestie Jamie that, basically she feels like the ladies of honor need to go to ladies of honor school. Okay. And so that's when Trina arrives and, she gets her beverage first. Okay. And then she admits, yeah, I was late, but, I was out here checking on my husband and we kind of already knew that. First, have to give a shout out to Trina because her petticoat was pettying. Okay. I loved it. She was giving real Bridgerton vibes back in those days. So Tawanda notices that something is off with Trina, but she don't really say nothing. And so Trina reveals that, girl, I ain't got no panties on. Okay. And she claims that, they used to do that in those times. And I was like,
Peacoat and no panties on.
not peacoat and no panties on. And actually it was funny because I was shout out to Hey Empire. But I was listening to his recap. And he was like, actually, no, Trina, they used to wear whole trousers under their shit. If you remember, they had the little long boy briefs right above the knee that they used to wear under their stuff. And I was like,
So I do know about that, but I also did hear, I think it depends on what era.
okay.
I did also hear that there was a time where they didn't either.
Oh, well.
And look, and really, who knows? It could be the same era. And some of them was just nasty and some of them was
right. So then, so then they both agree that this is absolutely something Tracy would have participated in. And Trina decides she needs to pee. And she starts pissing in these people's grass because we know this is not their house. They have rented. This is an Airbnb situation. So then Tawanda is talking about let the air hit it. I said, not let the air hit it. If anything, I would have been like, I got your back, so can't nobody see you, but wipe your thing. Girl.
No, that big old petticoat she wouldn't have been able to wipe.
Well, but then I love that Trina said, it may be foolish and whatever, but I'm willing to do anything, whatever to make my sisters laugh. And because I can absolutely relate to that. Ask Nell's about the happy hump. Okay. It's a real thing. I'm absolutely that person. And I would do whatever to put a smile on somebody's face, even if it's annoying. I don't know about disgusting. I don't think that would make my sisters happy, but
now I can see you doing not exactly this, but something along those lines with a few drinks in your system.
Right. And being like, girl, I can't help it. And y'all laughing at me. And then y'all tell me the next day, you don't remember peeing in the grass in the people's yard? Yeah. Sean shows up with a few groomsmen with, Vaughn is there.
Can I say,
Vaughn didn't look good.
It kind of aggravated me once I saw Vaughn because had I known he was coming to the bridal shower, I would have felt like there was no need for you to go home and check on him. You could have called him. Hey, you doing okay? You need anything? Whatever. That was done and over with. And then you're going to see him later. So you showed up late for him to come through later?
I think what it was, in my opinion, and I was just getting ready to say this, I felt like based off of what I saw, I actually felt kind of bad at how hard I went at Vaughn, like her for going to check on him last week, because he does look like, you know what I mean? Like eyes were kind of yellowish. Like he looks like he's not at his top health, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. Maybe she really felt like she needed to. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so they play this toilet paper game. I have never seen this before, but again, it was cute.
I thought it was a cute idea.
And you know what's so funny? Because at first I was like, this is so stupid. And then when they did, like at the end, when they judged and you seen everybody's stuff, and it was like, girl, your whole titties out. Yo,
Yes,
out.
I love
That was funny. That's when I was like, okay, that's what makes the game fun.
He was
Okay.
like, he said, that's the look we go. He was like, she's naked. He said, that's the look we going for.
Okay. So then Sean announces that he has gifts for all of the ladies, which are little baby Birkins. And I told Nels these are pretty much keychains at this point, but it's okay. We're not expecting you to walk around and buy everybody baby Birkins. We know, as Nell said, Tamar put the down payment on your house. So we already know. So then he gifts her with a Tiffany perfume. And she seems pleased because it's her favorite. And as I told Nels backstage, just come to me with the Macy's bag. I'm sure they sell it. Or, I think I would rather prefer that in the Amazon box. But don't come to me with no Tiffany bag and it be perfume in it. It better be some damn jewelry in it. That's all I'm saying. I ain't specifying what type of jewelry because clearly you already got a ring. But I'm saying you better gave me a earrings, a necklace, a matching set for wedding day, but something new. Okay. That's all I'm saying. Not no damn perfume. Shit, that could have been something borrowed. What the hell? So then Tawanda's grateful for those that did show up despite Tony not being there. And of course she has to let us know and try to make Tony feel bad because she's not there.
Over and over again.
Mm-hmm. Over and over again.
So Tamar is rehearsing for her tour. And she's definitely showing who's in charge. Okay. She says she's on top of everything. She has her hand in the mix for everything. Okay. She says she has some making up to do from calling all lovers when, that year she got blood clots and she had to cancel, a lot of her plans surrounding the project. And she says she plans to give the people what they expect from her. She always does. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Tamar comes through. So then we see Trina in her realtor bag. She says she's happy to be back at work after dealing with all this drama and the wedding stuff. And apparently Faison Love reached out to her about buying a house, and she's looking forward to getting that commission. Okay. Then we see Tawanda and Miss E. They came through to see her, see her office. And Tawanda brought her a gift, which I thought was nice. I guess because she said that she's proud of her, for landing this job, getting back to business. But she said that she does know that her sister's been off since the bachelorette party. So she asked her,
what did you think about them gifting her a bottle of alcohol? Especially after last season, and we knew she was struggling.
I mean, she sat down and had a drink with her. They made espresso martinis together.
First thing okay, no, but I mean, giving her like for your own, like it's different socially, right?
I'm sure she has bottles in her house.
Okay, I mean, okay.
I'm not saying it's right, but
no, I just wanted to know your thoughts. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I just thought it was a little. It was just a little like.
You saw the first thing Trina did when she got to she was running late.
Ready to drink, right?
I mean, listen, there ain't no point in you fighting it if she ain't fighting it. So, yeah, it was a problem for Trina, but she ain't stopping. So, basically, Tawanda asked her what's going on, and Trina explained that, Vaughn has congestive heart failure. Okay, and she didn't want to tell her because she got her wedding plans going on. She didn't want to put a damper on that. Basically, Tawanda was given, why is this happening around my wedding?
Right.
Like how she feels basically about everything else.
Right. Like, oh, that's sad, but what that got to do with?
What's your
man got to do with me?
Exactly. I got a wedding.
Okay, I got a wedding. Right.
I ain't trying to hear that.
Right. Okay.
Okay. So then we find out that, because Tony, we know she missed the bridal shower. She is flying the ladies out to Miami to see her concert and have some sister time to kind of make up for, missing the bridal shower because she feels bad about it.
All right, y'all. So we see Tony, in Miami. She preparing for her show. And Trina has stopped by to see her before the performance. And Tawanda didn't show up for the show. And Trina said, she's just been going through so much with the car accident and the wedding, and her body just shut down. And my notes say, but she got her ass on that plane though. She found enough energy to do that. And you can't even say you have jet lag. It's just Atlanta to Miami. But anyway, so she decided to stay at the hotel and charge things to Tony's card.
Well, that's right. They were in Atlanta.
Right.
How long of a flight is that? What, 30 minutes?
Maybe an hour tops.
Okay.
So again, like I said, she decided to stay at the hotel and charge Tony's card, and not come to the show, because we all know whose card was on the room. Then Tony lets her know that she lets Trina know, I do have a boat day plan. I got some things planned for us. So before she goes on stage, she's like, Trina, you gonna come up? And can I say Tony looked good?
Yes, she did.
And her little one, I don't want to call it a onesie, but that little one piece joint, it was giving sexy, girl. It was giving sexy romper. I loved it.
Mm-hmm.
And so Trina, and again, it's sad because I love that Trina is so supportive, and she's like, I'll do whatever you want. And we see that she's like that with a lot of her sisters, right? But then it made me think, damn, Trina, I think you're a people pleaser. Like legit, like I think you just, and I don't think it's just your sisters. I see it with your husband. I think you're just like, you just do whatever to pacify, like, and that's, I don't know. And so it was like, at the same time, it was sweet, but I was like, I don't know if this is the healthiest behavior for you, because I'm starting to notice a pattern. Mm-hmm. So I was upset because we didn't get any. I'm gonna give it to you. Okay, we didn't get no vocals. We got a little. We got a little shimmy, y'all, shimmy, yay, okay? And so then Tony does a tribute for Angie during the show, and she brings Trina out to sing Breathe Again. And again, we ain't get no breath or no vocals, but rest in peace, Angie Stone. Okay? And I heard from other people that recapped it. They said that I guess WeTV didn't pay for the licensing or whatever. They didn't pay for it to have the songs played. So that's why we didn't hear anything from Tamar either. And sounds like y'all need to get y'all budget up. I mean, you can't have two powerful singers on the show and not play any of their songs. That's weird. But okay.
So my notes start off by saying, what the F does Tawanda got on? Okay. She's talking about she would have wore something different if she knew it wouldn't have been so windy. I think regardless of the weather, she should have wore something different. I don't know what the hell that was. But Tony reserved a boat for the ladies, and it was a beautiful little setup. I don't know. It's making me miss charcuterie boards. I mean, can't have it right now, but I definitely miss it. Tony finally shows up. As per usual, she's late. But she was serving. It's giving, I understand why you were late. Now, if this is how you're going to show up and be late, I get it.
Right.
Maybe the other ladies needed a little more extra time. But her hair was kind of all over her head because it was so windy, and nobody had a comb to, get her together. So
she had to get her dingle hopper.
Her dingle hopper. Yeah, she went right over to the table and took a little plastic fork and used it.
No, it wasn't plastic. That was a real fork.
Was it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
I don't think plastic would have done that. Plastic would have, that to really get through and get,
she did have a little tangle.
Right. Yeah. No, she had to use a real fork. But I ain't even gonna hold you, because what's so crazy is, yes, I seen The Little Mermaid, but every time my hair has been disconjointed, never did it pop in my mind to go and look for a fork.
So they always do Little Mermaid references. I think Tamar, she used the butter knife as a mirror, and she always does that. But yeah, they I think that's a them thing.
Right.
So Tony wanted to check in on Tawanda and see how she was doing, after she was a no-show to her show last night. Of course, she's doing better. She said with everything going on after the accident, she just needed some rest. Now, the guy comes in and tells them, unfortunately, they're going to be unable to ride the boat due to the weather. I mean, I could have told you that.
I was gonna say, when it looked like before you even got on it, I wouldn't have wanted to go nowhere.
I guess maybe they still got to pay for the time because, I think that normally they'd be like, really, there's no point in getting on the boat. But I guess they have food and drink and stuff like
Right.
that.
No, you don't already pay for that. So you might as well just sit down
Yeah.
and enjoy your time.
So then Tawanda says, oh, well, we can go to Mr. Chow. Ain't this my gift to you?
My gift to you. So here's my thing. Not hold on. My phone just said winter remix. What you mean winter remix? What the hell is going on? Anyway,
No boat, no time soon.
I'm not ready. I am not ready for the fact that I had to put my pea coat on when I ran to the store today was enough for me.
It don't take her much to put on her peacoat, y'all.
That's the first time I put it on this year.
Oh, okay.
Thank you. And what it was 30.
What you been wearing?
Just a hoodie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But 38 degrees. Nah, I had a hat, a scarf on. I might have been a little extra, but the chop was like, nah, this is different.
Oh my goodness.
I was so happy I didn't have to leave the house this past 2 days because I said this is type of stuff I'll call out of work just not to go because it's cold. I don't play these games, y'all.
Oh my goodness. You was gonna say something about Tawanda?
Oh yeah, I think that's so disrespectful. I just feel like you should let the host offer. Mm-hmm. Am I wrong? Like if Tony would have said, because it's her money, you're already staying on her dime. She's invited you. You didn't show up to the show, and I personally,
regardless of whether y'all going out on the boat, she clearly still has to pay for it.
And can I be honest? And I'm gonna just keep it 100. I don't believe Tawanda. I absolutely think she didn't show up because she was trying to. It was a tit for tat with Tony.
You didn't show up for me, so I'm gonna show for you.
And that's really unfortunate. That's really unfortunate, especially since she's done paid your. I just thought it was piss poor taste. And then you're like, yeah, let's go to Mr. Chow, and everybody know Mr. Chow ain't cheap. It'd be different if you said. It'd be different if you said, let's go to the roof, Chris. But you can't even say Prime 112. You can't even say Mr. Chow.
I like I said, I feel like this was already nice. And even though they couldn't go out on a boat, it's still like go out on the water. It's still something that Tony had to pay for. She had to pay for the drink, the food, the whole setup, everything. So to expect something more, I feel like if Tony was willing to do something more, Tony should have said, is there anything else you want to do? But no, for her to just be like, oh, well, let's go to Mr. Chow. But of course, Tony agreed and even told the ladies that she'll be the one to set it up. And as per usual, they're expecting.
Of course, because she's paying for it, and it's just unfortunate.
And they're expecting her to be late, as per usual. And they get into the.
And I can be when I'm paying for it.
But Tony said that basically the reason why she even showed up to this late is because she was a little fatigued. She
got lupus.
Yeah, she has lupus. She just did a show and she had to take a nap. Okay. Then they get into Trina's nasty escapades about pissing outside like a dog, and Trina talking about how she wanted the whole Bridgerton experience. I ain't never saw that in Bridgerton.
Okay. If so, they didn't show it to us.
Maybe I missed that part.
Which this is true. They said 12 a.m. I'm sorry to be so random. They got snowflakes in the top of and it said 56% chance. Yet it's going to be 61 degrees tomorrow. So that makes sense. If it's 30 degrees today and it's going to be 60 tomorrow, then that makes sense why we're going to get some snow, a little bit of winter remix tonight. That's usually how it happens. It get really cold and then the temperature go up. That makes sense. You're welcome from your hood meteorologist. Signing off.
Always.
So Tamar meets up with her friend Phil, and we see Tony and meeting up with Tawana and Trina for dinner at Mr. Chow's, which she's late again. So Tamar is at this Italian restaurant, but I think it's funny because she thought it was Mexican. Understandable because it said fresca, and I ain't mad at her. I was here for it, and this was literally like, I felt like a me moment, and I had to really embrace it. So Tamar talks about, how the sisters basically got her drinking because she usually doesn't drink a month prior to her vocal performances, but what she say, she's self-medicating. And so Phil suggests, well, why don't you just leave him alone? Protect your mental health. Raise your son. And she was like, but everybody pressures me to come back. And so Phil was like, maybe you need to love them from a distance. And Tamar says, and then everybody makes me feel bad because that's your family. And, but at the same time, they're toxic. So Tony asked Tawanda if Tamar is coming to the wedding. And Tawanda says, no. And so Tony was like, well, what do y'all think about what happened the other day? And Tawanda thinks it's inexcusable. Okay. While Tony admits, I'm also not proud of myself. And I can appreciate Tony taking accountability, unlike the other two at the table. So Trina says, I just feel like I had to defend myself. And she did kick you and she did pull your hair. So I can understand why you feel that way. And Tawanda said, basically, I'm exhausted and I'm not willing to accept it anymore. And I'm done. And I was like, okay, if you're done, let's get off the show. I love to see what you and Sean be doing. You ain't got this check.
Clearly not enough.
It's not enough.
Phil is telling Tamar that she needs to just love her family from a distance. And she said everyone makes her feel guilty for leaving her family alone because they're toxic. And she said that she showed up for the season to heal with her sisters, but everybody didn't show up for the same reason. Given some people just showed up for the check.
Okay.
Then she gets into what happened at the dinner and said that Tony got all up in her face like she was on Real Housewives of New Jersey, ready to flip the table on her. Okay. And she does admit that it got a little physical, but she blacked out, so she don't know all the details. Okay. And he suggested, her reaching out to them. And Tamar feels like, she may be the most opinionated, but she ain't the worst person on the planet. And says that she always comes back to help them. And she got a little emotional and said that, this is messed up and it didn't have to be this way. So then out in Miami, Tony is talking with her sisters about, where they go from here because they're sisters at the end of the day. And Tawanda said, this is it for her. Okay. She's no longer allowing that behavior and said, she blamed us for being served and we didn't have anything to do with it. Trina talks about how Tamar said that Trina put hands on her first and then pulled her wig off. And Tony asked, you know what, maybe we just need to have a conversation with Tamar. And Tawanda, she ain't here for it. She said she's not willing to do it. She's been saying this for years. And she feels Tony needs to stop playing peacemaker when there's no peace and there's only chaos, and said that Tamar will not be attending her wedding.
Well,
that's sad.
There's that. Yeah, it is sad. So yeah, y'all, that was this episode of the Braxtons. Don't look like we got no healing. I ain't even gonna hold you. I mean, I love seeing some cute little times between the Trina and but it basically they're treating this like a real housewives. They're trying to ice Tamar out. That's what Tawanda's trying to do. She wants all of them to be like, oh, I'm not gonna film with Tamar, but let's just keep it 100. Without Tamar, you don't have a show.
Exactly. That's who I watch it for.
Because it definitely ain't Tony. Love you, mean it. So yeah, if you haven't already, all of our shit.
Really, it's right now. It's Tamar and Miss E.
I like Trina. I ain't gonna hold you. I do like Trina, but I like House.
No.
I literally live to hear her talk. I literally
Trina gets on my damn nerves. I can't stand the way she talks.
I live to hear.
And this season,
I saw a video clip when she was younger. She talked like that. Like she's still like when she was much younger. She still talked like that. So I don't know if she just always. It wasn't as prominent, but you could still hear the like it coming out.
We can't be friends.
No. Literally, me and Trina could be friends just so I can say out and about.
And I mean, Trina was okay, but I wasn't like really, I didn't really like her like that. And really, this season really made me not really like her.
Well, yeah, this season, unfortunately, with what she, what she's co-signing, and that's not cool. But yeah, I've always, it's Trina and Tamar for me. And I like the two together, but unfortunately, Trina's clinging to Tawanda, so she can't get up under that. Because we saw last season how we had scenes with just Tamar and Trina, and they got along really well and they had a good time. But I think, unfortunately, the dominating factor is Tawanda. She's the common denominator. All right, y'all. Make sure, if you haven't already, that y'all go ahead and hit that like button.
Make sure you comment.
Make sure that you guys subscribe.
And you hit the notification bell.
And make sure that you're following us on all the platforms. That's the TikTok, the Twitter, the Facebook, the IG, the Blue Sky, and the Lemonade. Damn, I'm good. And yeah, y'all. I know, right? I should be an auctioneer. Coming at 300, 300, 400, 400. We got 400. We got 500. And we will catch you next week. Hopefully, it's episode 5. So hopefully, they did 6 last time. Hopefully, they'll give us 6 and bear us. And give us back and reclaim our time, as my good sis Maxine Waters said. I'm reclaiming my time. Okay, but we love y'all. Thank y'all. Make sure y'all drop in the comments. Let us know what you think about this episode. Have a good night. Bye-bye.
Good night.